What's going on everyone, Tenha here, and today in this video we're gonna talk about Baizhu. We have been waiting for him for a long time, and I'm very glad that he's finally here. He is actually the second dendro healer that we got in the game, and I'm very excited to find out if he's gonna be a good addition to the team, or if he's gonna be like a replacement for a certain character in the existing team. So let's get down to it right away. Right now we have 54k HP, and other stats don't really matter because he's supposed to be a healer. His attack. This is normal attack, but it's like really short ranged. If you want to use him as a dendro driver on the field, then I don't think that is the best case scenario because you're gonna have to stack a lot of EM on him, right? But we will explain about that real soon. His E at level 6 does 7.3k healing for all the party members, which is huge, right? You create 4 particles, your cooldown is 10 seconds. We're gonna see how much energy we need to use his ultimate, and that is 80. His cooldown for his Q is 20 seconds. You can use his E 2 times during the rotation. He's gonna have an energy recharge problem. One thing about his Q is that he keeps on making dendro shield, and the shield will heal your own active character based on Baizhu's max HP and attack with dendro damage when the seamless shield's effects expire or when it is shattered. The function of this thin shield is basically interruption resistance. I have this one character in my mind that I should be using with Baizhu, but let's talk about the ascension passives first. Baizhu gains different effects according to the current HP of your current active character. When their HP is less than 50%, Baizhu gains 20% healing bonus, and when their HP is equal to or more than 50%, Baizhu gains 25% dendro damage bonus. So this kind of reminds me of Bennett, but he doesn't do a lot of damage in my mind because his healing amount bases off of his HP, right? So I built him as HP, and this is not going to benefit him so much unless I go for like a DPS build. And the next passive says the characters who are healed by Q will gain the effect. Each 1000 max HP that Baizhu possesses that does not exceed 50k will increase the burning, bloom, hyper bloom, and burgeon reaction damage dealt by these characters by 2%, while the aggravate and spread reaction damage dealt by these characters will be increased by 0.8%. So we get the 100% burning, bloom, hyper bloom, and burgeon reaction damage, and we get 40% increase in the aggravate and spread reaction damage. And then this fancy passive I didn't really like. When Baizhu is in the party interacting with certain harvestable items will heal your current active character for 2.5% of Baizhu's max HP. Yeah. Let's talk about his weapons and artifacts. His weapon, I'm using his best in slot weapon right now. For alternatives, you can use other things that gives you HP or energy recharge. You might think that you could be using Nahida's weapon, but I mean, if you have Nahida's weapon, then why wouldn't you have Nahida? There are gonna be people who would say, oh, I pulled this weapon on accident, by accident or something like that. But if that's the case, you could, but this weapon is not going to do anything for Baizhu unless you're gonna be using Baizhu on the field as a driver. This weapon is not going to do much for him as a healer other than giving bonus EM for other characters in the team. The next best in slot weapon other than his signature weapon is going to be Prototype Ember. This weapon is a craftable weapon, so it's easy for you to get the refinement rank 5, which means that you're going to be getting 18 energy back after you use your ult, and then you get extra healing for other characters in the party. Another thing you can probably go for is Favonius. It gives you energy recharge. I know that you're supposed to crit, but he applies dendro off field after using his ult, so this is gonna be okay for him. However, I still think that Prototype Ember is the best way to go if you're F2P and you know, you don't get to spend $200 for this, right? For the artifact set you want to go for is gonna be anything that helps you get HP or energy recharge. Full tenacity set would be okay, but it's a little weird for us to use full tenacity set because Baizhu gives bonus damage to the dendro related reactions. So yes, this could work, but I feel like it's gonna be the best for you to use Deepwood Memories. If I have to choose a character that would take down the dendro res from the opponents, I would say Baizhu is gonna be good. I would much rather have other dendro characters like Nahida or Alhaitham to use the Gilded Dream set instead of dendro. But honestly, right now, we don't have the best in slot artifact for Baizhu at the moment. And then you might be thinking, what about the Clam set, which is the best for healers? Well, I'll talk about the Clam set later, but this is not really recommended because he basically doesn't provide enough healing. So when that is the case, we all know that we don't want to go for Clam set. This is something for Kokomi or Chichi, not for a character like Baizhu. So, if I were to compare him with another dendro healer, Yao Yao, Baizhu is more like short-ranged and then his Q does single target damage. Compared to Yao Yao, she does a lot more AoE damage, right? So when it comes to Nilo team, I don't think we can replace Yao Yao with Baizhu because of his characteristics. We don't want to have Baizhu out in the field because you're going to be building him with HP anyways. So even if you have all those like whale weapons and settings, honestly, it's not going to be that great. So to summarize his kit, he provides healing, resistance to interruption from his shield, bonus damage for dendro-related reactions, and all-field single-target dendro application. He has a problem though. It costs 80 energy to use his ult. He can use 2 skills during his rotation, which means that it's going to be very problematic if you use Baizhu as a single dendro unit to get his ult up in time comfortably. Another downside of using him is that his all-field dendro application does single target, and lastly, his buff applies to an active character who gets healed from his ult, which means that it will take a little bit of time for a swapped character to get the damage buff, and will not benefit comps that has all-field elemental applications like visual and stuff. So as a damage buffer, I would say Nahida is better. So there is a character that I thought had a major problem when you were using him on field, and that is going to be Cyno. And because Cyno is a melee character, Baizu's shield, which would provide resistance to interruption, is going to benefit him a lot. And because we're gonna have Cyno out in the field, which you kind of focus EM on him, right? Because he scales off of EM. Having Xingqiu in the team would allow him to do bonus damage by doing Hyper Bloom. Okay, we're gonna do the showcase in Raiden Shogun's domain. I can't believe that just happened. Okay, I was hoping that the shield would give me a lot of resistance to the interruptions, but I do think that you probably need to dodge here and there. I am not really good at that. I'm more used to Zhongli gameplay, so I don't think Baizu's shield is good enough to provide me enough resistance to interruption with Cyno. However, in terms of damage, I would say that was pretty good. Having Baizhu and Nahida in the team, we were able to see a lot of like aggravate, and also at the same time we were able to see some spread as well as the Hyper Bloom reactions. So I would say that this team is actually pretty good. However, you can just probably go with Baizhu, Cyno, Yaemiko, and Nahida, because Yaemiko also benefits from Baizu's damage bonus. And obviously, again, disclaimer, Yaemiko is C6R5, so keep that in mind that this is just for the example showcase. Even if they're like C0, and if you have F2P weapon, this team is going to be beneficial, so keep that in mind. Let's see how it goes. There's way too much damage already. I think that's more like Yaemiko team more than Cyno team. But it's, again, because I have C6R5 Yaemiko, she's just too strong. I got curious. Can we just compare Yaemiko's damage by herself versus Yaemiko and Nahida versus Yaemiko with Baizhu? 28k, 30k. $72k. Baizu's Q. 56k. Not gonna lie, the bonus damage from Baizhu is not bad, but compared to Nahida, it's gonna be very questionable. So, as we wrap up this video, let's go ahead and show you the last damage showcase, because I'm very wondering how much damage we're gonna be doing with Bennett, Yaemiko, Nahida, and Baizhu. $104k. Okay, that is a lot of damage. So, as we conclude, let's talk about one more thing. You know how there's a talent where it gives you the bonus damage? I think you need to utilize this. So, you want to put 50k HP and everything else is kind of meaningless. For most of the time, 7k healing is pretty nice, and his Q also provides like 4k healing here and there, so that is more than enough for you to survive. But it would be nicer if I can give him energy recharge sands. And you know, if you can, you want to go for Deepwood Memory set. And even if you don't have 50k HP to utilize that passive fully, like 45k, it would also be nice, because that full damage bonus only gives me like 10% damage increase for my Yaemiko. So assuming that you're running him with Nahida, 180% energy recharge is going to be very reasonable. That was allowing me to use his Q without too much of a problem. So as we conclude, let's talk about whether if he's gonna be worth it or not. Is he worth it? As a character, I would say Baizhu is a very solid character. Although he has a very short range attack, I would say his value as a dendro character and being able to heal and as well as little damage bonus for your party members, I would say that's pretty good. Building him crit, I would say that's a little cap. Because his skill damage and Q single target, I would say that would be a waste. Alright, thank you so much for watching this video. If you guys have any question about him, let me know in the comment section. If this video helped you decide if you want to go for Baizhu or not, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.